Hi, this is Military Modeler Paul with my Easter egg plane fit completion on Easter Bank Holiday Monday over in Britain here. And this is the kit I was building, which is the Warhawk P40. Now I must admit I've done a few little tests on this plane because obviously it wasn't an egg plane, and I thought myself I'll test a few things. I've done a bit of a flory wash on it, and even cut the canopy so you could have it slid back, but of course silly me didn't test it first. There's no way it could have slid back, so there is a split between the two. Also sanded it smooth and basically then masked it up and then sprayed it, then done the wrong colour, the green, so I had to hand paint afterwards, which didn't come out too bad. And yeah, I'm quite happy. Also the decals that make up this bit here, the actual shark's mouth, apart from that one there, which still had a few split a little bit, but I didn't, not too bad, but these were so thick, and even with really strong setting solution you couldn't get it to bite, and then suddenly it started to break up. So the other side I didn't bother even try to fit because I thought to myself there's no point. So then I had to make a decision. I decided to paint it by hand, and it's workable with a wash over, and took me time, and basically I would do it slightly different because it's the first time I've ever hand painted a shark's mouth anyway. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go over to have a quick look at the build, and see you in a minute. Well, here we are back at the workbench, and this is the completed model. I'm not going to be doing any more. I will join in Charlie's build next year. I quite enjoyed it, and this was an experimental one for me. I used, as I said, the flory wash for the first time for a long time, and I put a bit of chipping on the front of the wings, little bits of chipping, just to give it a little bit of effect and make it look a bit slightly different, because being all blandy green. And as you can see, there's my hand done shark's mouth. Not too bad. But I know what I do next time. I'd actually mask off the white background and spray that. And once I've done that, then I would come in with a fine brush. The only trouble is my hand's not as strong as textile as it used to be. In other words, it it shakes a little bit sometimes. But I didn't do a bad job of it, and I'm quite pleased with it considering the soft scale. I think if it would have been a bigger scale plane, I think I'd have made an even better job. But I'm still pleased with it because it still looks like the part, and it looks like it's been painted on. And as Charlie said when I mentioned it once on a comment of one of his airplanes, is the fact that they were hand painted, which is true. So they might have used a few masks themselves, I don't know, or just could. But of course, medicinal planes, these planes look, the shark's mouths look really good. Of course, in the museum ones they would be perfect because basically they've got so much time to paint them anyway. But anyway, so you can see what I've done. Now I've done bits and pieces on there. I think she looks quite reasonable considering I mucked up the bit fell in on the inside, and I had to make a bit of plastic card and cut in, like I said, and slice it in. I think you remember the previous video. The propeller turns as well, so that was that one done, and there you go. And if I turn it slightly around, I think you might just see, you can see the gap. There's a gap there. I did cut it in half and split it through. So I had to hand paint the canopy again afterwards because I sprayed the green. Another little mistake. I actually masked up the canopy. It took me time to mask the canopies and front and rear, and then guess what? I picked up the wrong green. I wanted the olive drab, and I went for the wrong green. Sprayed it, and I thought that don't look right. And I thought no, it must be right. Anyway, so as soon as it was started to dry, I peeled it all off the canopy straight away. Brought it in here and thought wrong green. So I thought I'm not going to try and mask over it again and clean it up. So what I did do then is when I put it in place with canopy glue, I actually went back in with a very fine brush and went slowly over it. And then any little marks that went off the canopy frame, I used a cocktail stick to rub on the plastic, and it doesn't scratch, but it removes the paint because it's fresh and it was good. And it's a plastic. The canopies are shiny. So anyway, so let's move on round. The decals were rather thick on this. I think that doesn't help too much. So there you go. I've actually put the, if I can do it, I don't know if you can see this if I do that. You can see it now. I put the wire that goes across. That's the stretchy Z line. Whoops, of course I'm knocking my light over there. The Z line, EZ line it's called, yep, and that's the thinner one. I've got a thicker one which I'm going to be using on the next tin later at some point. So there you go, that's it. And so if I shut that drawer up again, try to move my lamp and come round underneath, I'll just show you underneath. There's the underneath, whoops, all over there. There you go. Put it in there. So there she is. Move that slowly over, and that's my egg build. And thank you very much for watching this. And as I said, this was my first egg plane, and I tried a few things, like I said, flory washes, bits and pieces, hand painting the jaws, the old shark's mouth. Really enjoyed it. I will do it next year, but I would like to build one of the cutie ones next year. It's an egg-shaped plane anyway. It is because I think the company couldn't call it an egg plane because obviously it was already taken on by Hasegawa, but they call them cuties. But I like the fact they've got a little pilot figure, and I don't know whether Charlie will let that in next year. The cutie ones, the same sort of thing. They're very stumpy and short, but they got cutie, and I'd like to do one of those. If he says that's okay for next year, then basically I'll get one of those kits sometime in the year to pick one and say it's already on my pile. Right, thank you very much for watching. I'll just bring it out slightly like that. There you go, and I'll catch you on the next one. Happy Easter, everyone, and remember, this is don't be a chocoholic over Easter. See you later, mate. Bye. Happy Easter.